So that number 8 signifies the fact that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is coming to break that 8-year cycle we've seen, you know, in the hands of the NPP, which has brought nothing but suffering, untold suffering and hardships on the people of this country.
To the campaign trail.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Have you been paying attention to the balloting?
In fact, that is what I've been monitoring since I entered your studio.
Right. Omaniboma is saying that there are some likely to be some unbiases because of a certain ball.
I think they've moved past that.
Okay.
There was a long standoff because one of the balls was different from the others and clearly undermined the fairness of the process.
You also think it undermines the fairness of the process?
Yes, of course. If we are all supposed to pick balls from a bowl and one is marked, okay, and I've actually seen a close shot of that ball, and you can see that at the base it is yellowish, and that is different from the other balls. And I think that that is why the other stakeholders agreed that our ball should be taken out.
Right.
There's been issues about whether or not the balls should now be put in a transparent container or in an opaque container.
Right.
And we are suggesting that it should be in an opaque container, so that no one has an advantage. You just dip your hand and then you pick any ball you get. Okay. And that is what I see them debating now.
I'm also just seeing a photo of the said ball. But I want to find out from you, over the period, do you think that your balloting has played any significance in the election?
Well, anyone who has experience in election will tell you that your number on the ballot is very important. That in itself will not determine the winner of the election, but it is very important.
How important? I don't want to push you too much, but how important is it?
Well, there are certain positions on the ballot that ensures you, okay, from having a higher incidence of spoiled ballots. Okay, so for example, if you are at the top or at the bottom, voter education is very easy because of the level of illiteracy. If you say Estrohwa, everyone understands that. You mean the top. If you say Asiewa, everybody understands that I should go to the bottom. Now, if the number is another number, it can be difficult. If it is 2, it's not that difficult. If it is 3, it's not that difficult. But other numbers may prove to be complex for a certain class of the electorate, depending on their awareness level and their ability, whether or not they are literate, and so on, can affect their votes. So that is why you see political parties having a keen interest in balloting.
I see. We have had John 3:16, and I believe you know where this is coming from. We've also seen number 2, second coming. What number are you eyeing this time around?
You know, slogans and catchy phrases have their role in every campaign. When you have a catchy slogan, it is easy for the people to remember.
Right.
And so it enhances the effectiveness of your communication of the subject matter. And that is why, beyond the issue of how easy people will be able to locate you on the ballot paper, sometimes the numbers also matter because of the significance of numbers.
So are you eyeing any number this time
So you know that Ghanaians are very religious, some are superstitious and all that, and numbers have meaning in that context of religion, faith, superstition, however you want to look at it. And so that is why these things are of importance to political parties. But for me, the process has to be fair, it has to be transparent, and whatever number you pick, it is your responsibility.
NDC is not eyeing either
it is
1,
your
2, or 3.
responsibility to communicate that number. I have my own wishes as to the number
and that is
I wish our representatives will pick, but that can only be a wish if the process is fair and transparent.
We would like to hear that wish. Which number are you eyeing?
No, I'm not telling you that, because very soon we'll get to know the number we pick.
Are you afraid that
if we end up picking any of the numbers I wish for, I will let you know.
Between the first three,
I think that's a no-brainer.
Okay.
The number any of the political parties will wish for is a no-brainer. Okay. People know the numbers that, and I think I've even given the indication in this conversation.
Absolutely.
That will make it easy for the electorates, irrespective of their literacy level, to locate you on the ballot and vote for you with ease without spoiling the ballot.
Right. We'll just wait for the outcome of that ballot, in which I believe will conclude shortly. But let's talk about the recently held demonstration, which I dare say shook the country. In your assessment, how was it? Did you achieve what you wanted to achieve?
The objective of demonstrations are usually not achieved in a day or in a matter of days. But to the extent that the demonstration was well attended, and here I'm not talking about just Accra, I'm talking about all the 16 regional capitals, to the extent that attendance was overwhelming across the 16 regions. And we had Ghanaians from all walks of life. You had civil society organizations, you had drivers, you had Kada riders, you had KIAs, you had traders, and so on. I would say that the demonstration was a great success.
Okay.
Another highlight was the fact that it was largely peaceful. And aside the Ashanti region, we did not record any cases of violence or injuries on the part of either protesters or the police who were offering us security.
Okay.
And that, for me, as one of the key organizers of the demonstration, is very, very heartwarming. We're beginning to see a change in the posturing of the Electoral Commission. The fact that they actually decided to adopt the 24-hour economy, stayed awake, and issued a press release as late as 1 a.m. indicating that they had received our petitions and they were considering it, and that at the right time we're going to hear from it. That was refreshing, and that was a marked improvement on the kind of belligerent, intransigent, arrogant posturing of the Electoral Commission we have seen in previous times. So we'll wait to see what the EC's response will be relative to the substance of the issues we have raised. Now, it is only after that takes place that we can say for sure whether the objective has been met. But for us as organizers, we are satisfied with the turnout and with the peaceful nature of the process. And I think that the demonstration across all the 16 regions has awakened the consciousness of the nation. It has deepen awareness on the issues we are raising, and a lot more people are getting to understand the issues.
I know you said the demonstration was largely peaceful with the exception of what happened in the Ashanti region, but one issue that caught a lot of attention was the National Cathedral. A group of demonstrators deciding to break in to see what's really happening there. And I know you know that Rafel, the lead convener for the Fix the Country movement, has been arrested. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree the police are doing the right thing?
No, not at all.
You don't think that
the arrest of Rafel, and I got information in the morning that he was being released. I don't know whether he's been released yet, but if he's still in custody, then it's a big shame. Okay, it's a very
you don't think that his act constitutes destruction of public property?
What property is that? What property?
The National Cathedral.
But is there a cathedral
the fence?
A fence? What fence? I didn't see
any damage. He broke a fence.
No, he didn't break a fence. You see, what is happening there is, the waste of taxpayers' monies on the totally useless project, which has no positive bearing on the livelihoods of the Ghanaian people. And Raf, like all of us, is a Ghanaian. He's a taxpayer.
So you support
and so
what
if the government of the day has taken $58 million of our monies and wasted same on that hole, which has now turned into a swimming pool, okay, then you cannot say that he has engaged in any act of illegality or criminality. I don't think you can say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I believe you've heard a response from the NPP regarding your protest. They say that if the Electoral Commission gives into your demand and actually conducts the audit into the register, they're also going to protest. Do you think, what do you think?
Well, what do you expect from the NPP? Because they are the beneficiaries of the manipulation of the electoral roll
right, but
by the Electoral Commission. And so you expect them to be happy about what is happening.
They are concerned,
and to do everything within their means to protect the perpetrators of the criminal manipulation of the electoral roll.
But their concern is that you claim to have identified a number of discrepancies in the voter register, but till date you haven't presented those evidences to the Electoral Commission.
Nothing could be further from the truth. The truth of the matter is that when we detected the criminal manipulation of the register and the discrepancies we are lamenting about, we wrote to the Electoral Commission and demanded for a meeting, and actually requested that the media be allowed to telecast the proceedings live. For some strange reasons, the EC did not allow that. But the meeting happened, and at that said meeting, we did a PowerPoint presentation of all the issues we had found in the 2024 provisional register.
So the EC has seen your
We
evidence.
gave them samples of the cases that we were complaining about, and in all cases, they admitted, they conceded that we were right. You understand? Of course, you cannot. We are talking about discrepancies that affect over 300,000 voters. Of course, one meeting will not be enough for you to exhaust all the issues and take the EC through the whole gamut of cases. But at least for every category of discrepancy that we raised, we presented multiple examples which they admitted. For example, when we spoke about illegal criminal transfers done by district returning officers of the Electoral Commission, we adduce evidence to substantiate the Pusiga case, where 38 people, we've since discovered more, but at the time we had detected only 38 people who vote in Tamale South who had been transferred illegally to Pusiga against the law because they had no notice or knowledge of the said transfers, which clearly flies in the face of Regulation 22 of CI 127, the law that governs voter transfer. And so that is a point. That is a point that the Electoral Commission.
Sammy, we'll still stay on the EC, but let me hold you on for a bit and just give our audience this piece of information. Now, the balloting is still underway, or maybe has ended, and Bawumia picked number 1 with John Dramani Mahama, your candidates, picking number 8. Is that satisfactory for you?
I think that's a very good number for me.
Number 8 is a good number.
It's a very, very good number for me, because what are we trying to achieve? What we're trying to achieve is for John Dramani Mahama, number 1, to break the 8 years of corruption, the 8 years of nepotism, the 8 years of, arrogance of power, economic mismanagement, which has plunged all of us into the mess we have on our hands. So that number 8 signifies the fact that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is coming to break that 8-year cycle we've seen, in the hands of the NPP, which has brought nothing but suffering, untold suffering and hardships on the people of this country. Another significance of the number 8 is the fact that our goal is for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to be able to serve a second term and to do 8 years. Because the constitution of this country gives everybody the right to serve as president for a maximum period of 8 years. He's done 4 years. And the struggle we are currently engaging, our whole quest in this campaign is for him to be able to get a second term and do 8 years. And I think that number 8 signifies that. And so it's a very good number. Put in a lot of effort to communicate that, and I know that is a number that is going to bring success and victory.
Okay, I mean, despite its significance, as you say, you've also talked about that there's some level of illiteracy. Would that number help you, you know, in educating the voting population?
Well, I must admit that other numbers are easy for people to appreciate that than the number 8. And so, despite, notwithstanding the points I've already made about what number 8 signifies, it only shows that we need to put in a lot more effort to educate voters about the position His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will be on the ballot. That's what it means. But it is not an insurmountable task at all. It is something that can easily be done.
Okay. You were talking about the EC. I'll just let you have the last word on it, that we move on to something else.
Yes. So, look, we've raised very serious issues that border on the sanctity of the electoral process, because they border on the credibility of the voters' register. And you know that the bedrock of every free and fair election in the world is the credibility of the register. Once you get the register right, the job is done in terms of ensuring that the election is free and fair.
Right.
And therefore, we are determined to ensuring that the Electoral Commission produces nothing short of a credible register.
And in
the issues we are raising are not mere allegations. They are issues backed by incontrovertible facts, which we have demonstrated to the Electoral Commission, all of which they have accepted. What we are asking for is for us to have an independent audit into the register and its IT systems